Okay, moving on to the gallbladder. The gallbladder is located inferior to the liver, just inferior, sort of plastered to its underside. It is a pear-shaped sac that stores bile. It measures about 1.5 inches by 3 inches in an adult. It has a mucosa with simple columnar epithelium and associated mucus glands. It has a muscular layer and a serosa, and it is traditionally shown in green, as is bile. The common hepatic duct that drains bile from the liver lobules has a branch, the cystic duct, that leads to the gallbladder. The gallbladder can store around 50 milliliters of bile. It removes water from the bile and concentrates the stored bile. It is completely possible to survive without a gallbladder. Removing the gallbladder is one of the most common surgeries done in America. It's called a cholecystectomy, and along with appendectomies, it's one of the most common surgeries that general surgeons perform. When bile is needed, it exits the gallbladder through the cystic duct and enters the common bile duct. The common bile duct joins the pancreatic duct at the duodenal ampulla. The ampulla has a sphincter of ampulla that controls the release of bile into the duodenum. Gallbladder functioning. If lipids are ingested, a hormone, cholecystokinin, abbreviated CCK, is secreted into the duodenum. Cholecystokinin stimulates the gallbladder to contract and release bile into the cystic duct. Cholecystokinin causes the sphincter of ampulla to open. The autonomic nervous system also innervates the gallbladder. And remember, the reason when lipids are ingested and cholecystokinin is secreted and cholecystokinin is stimulating the gallbladder to release bile is because bile is going to be used to help break down the lipids that were ingested and make it easier for lipase from the pancreas to digest the lipids. That makes sense, right? There's a picture of the whole business of bile ducts. Okay, the pancreas, and this is going to be covering the exocrine and the endocrine pancreas, but concentrating more on the exocrine pancreas, which is part of the digestive system, whereas the endocrine pancreas is considered part of the endocrine system. A bit of an artificial distinction, but I'm just saying. So, pancreas structure. The pancreas is posterior to the stomach. It is retroperitoneal behind a sheet of parietal peritoneum. It is around 6 inches long. It has a head that is attached to the duodenum by the pancreatic duct. And then it has the body, which extends over towards the left, and a tail that ends up pressed against the spleen. The pancreas is surrounded by a thin connective tissue capsule. The pancreas has lobules that are separated by connective tissue septa. Within the lobules, the pancreas contains both exocrine and endocrine gland cells. And you can see that the lobules are irregularly shaped. Some of them are shaped like triangles. Others are shaped more like rectangles. The shape is not an important function of these lobules, just sort of different little sections. Okay, acini. The exocrine cells in the pancreas are found in pancreatic acini. Around 99% of pancreatic cells are exocrine cells. A pancreatic acinus is an exocrine gland with a simple cuboidal epithelium around a small duct. They are the little orange circles shown in the picture to the right. The exocrine cells are orange and they have little kind of gray nuclei. And then in the center of each, there is a tiny little duct that is connecting to a slightly bigger duct, and then, on and on. The ducts, are tributaries of bigger ducts. So the ducts drain into progressively larger ducts, which drain into the main pancreatic duct, which runs the length of the pancreas. The pancreatic duct carries secretions from the pancreas to the duodenum. Sometimes an accessory pancreatic duct is present, and there will be two pancreatic ducts emptying into the duodenum. But let's take the simple case where there is just one main pancreatic duct. The pancreatic duct joins the bile duct at the duodenal ampulla. Okay, pancreas exocrine function. The function of the pancreatic acini is to secrete digestive enzymes that break down nutrients. Amylase breaks down carbohydrates, lipases break down lipids, proteases and peptidases break down proteins, and nucleases break down nucleic acids. The acinar cells also secrete sodium bicarbonate. The digestive enzymes and the bicarbonate ions are released into the duodenum. In the duodenum, they are mixed with chyme. The enzymes, of course, break down the nutrients that are in the chyme, and the bicarbonate ions neutralize the stomach acid in the chyme. The secretory activities of the exocrine pancreas are regulated by hormones from the duodenum. Cholecystokinin causes release of digestive enzymes, and secretin causes release of sodium bicarbonate. Now, a bit about the endocrine pancreas. Pancreatic islets are endocrine glands. In the picture to the right, the pancreatic islets are shown in yellow. The islets have different types of cells in them that secrete different hormones. Alpha cells secrete glucagon, beta cells secrete insulin, delta cells secrete somatostatin, and F cells secrete pancreatic polypeptide. The cells secrete hormones into interstitial fluid, and the hormones enter the blood through nearby capillaries. Islet cells are only 1% of pancreatic cells. However, they have very important functions, especially beta cells that produce insulin. Without beta cells producing insulin, a person dies within days or weeks. So before there was synthetic insulin, when people, often children, develop diabetes of the type where the beta cells are completely attacked by the immune system and completely destroyed, if there were not enough beta cells remaining to produce any insulin, then the person was going to die sooner rather than later. Luckily, they learned how to synthesize insulin. So now people with diabetes type 1 just are on insulin for the rest of their lives, but they can have a long, productive, happy life. Okay, pancreas blood supply. The blood supply to the pancreas is from the abdominal aorta to the celiac trunk to the common hepatic artery and to the splenic artery and further branches. The superior mesenteric artery may also supply branches to the pancreas. And the superior mesenteric artery is also coming off of the abdominal aorta. We will learn more about these blood vessels in the blood vessel lecture. Okay, pancreas nerve supply. The secretory activities of the pancreas are controlled by the autonomic nervous system and local hormones. And there's a picture of nerve supply to the pancreas. It is a bit convoluted, although not unnecessarily so. If you look at it, you'll see that the parasympathetic nerves are going to intrapancreatic ganglia. And from there, there's the second post-ganglionic axons going to the exocrine tissue. Okay. Then there's also sympathetic input, thought to be less important. Don't mind all the little initials where they have like DMV, NTS, NG, DRG. Just ignore all that. And just look at the fact that there's parasympathetic input and there's sympathetic input into the pancreas. All right, and see you soon.